In today's fast-moving digital landscape, one story has dominated conversations worldwide, a rare and unfiltered exchange between two of the most powerful leaders on the planet, Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin. What made it extraordinary was not just the content of their conversation, but the fact that it was never intended for public ears. A hot microphone, accidentally left on, captured the two leaders speaking candidly about subjects as unusual as organ transplants and the possibility of extending human lifespans far beyond current limits. Once leaked, the conversation spread like wildfire across news networks and social media platforms, sparking a wave of speculation, humor, and heated debate. The moment immediately stood out because it gave the world an unscripted glimpse into a private dialogue at the highest levels of power. Unlike carefully crafted speeches or official press releases, this was raw and unfiltered, which made it both fascinating and unsettling. The idea of leaders discussing longevity and transplants raised questions that cut across science, ethics, and geopolitics. Were they joking casually, or was this a hint at something much larger, perhaps a glimpse into advanced research collaborations between Russia and China? The mystery surrounding the tone and intent of their words has only fueled the frenzy further. Around the world, reactions poured in. Analysts and political commentators began dissecting every detail of the clip, from the tone of voice to the choice of words. Social media, meanwhile, erupted in its own way, with countless memes imagining Xi and Putin plotting to live forever or joking about the possibility of world leaders becoming the first humans to live to 150. Beyond the jokes, however, deeper discussions emerged about the ethics of extreme life extension and organ transplantation. Could such advancements, if real, ever be made accessible to ordinary people, or would they remain tools of privilege for the elite? From a medical standpoint, the conversation comes at a time when real progress is being made in both fields. Organ transplantation is becoming more advanced every year, while research into longevity has become a billion-dollar industry, attracting the attention of tech moguls and scientists alike. That the leaders of two major world powers would discuss these issues privately, even casually, adds a new dimension to global conversations about science, technology, and the pursuit of immortality. It suggests that even at the highest political levels, the human fascination with extending life is alive and well. There are also clear geopolitical angles to consider. Russia and China have grown increasingly close in recent years, strengthening their partnership in areas ranging from energy to military cooperation. If this conversation is seen as a sign of collaboration in advanced medicine or biotechnology, it could mark a new frontier in their alliance. For the West, already wary of the growing cooperation between the two countries, the prospect of them leading breakthroughs in such sensitive scientific areas adds to the unease. It is no wonder that the leaked audio has been scrutinized not just for entertainment, but also for its potential strategic significance. Public reaction, however, has been far from uniform. Some people dismiss the exchange as idle chatter between two aging leaders musing about their own mortality. Others see it as a revealing glimpse into the private priorities of men who wield enormous influence over the global order. The ambiguity is part of what has made the story so gripping, because nobody outside the room can say with certainty whether the conversation was serious, half-serious, or entirely tongue-in-cheek. Meanwhile, the incident has reignited conversations about privacy, media, and the power of leaks in shaping public perception. Hot mic moments have embarrassed politicians many times before, but rarely on this scale or with such global figures. It reminds the world how fragile, carefully managed images can be, and how a single unscripted moment can define public discourse for days or even weeks. For Xi and Putin, leaders who are both known for their strict control over their image, the viral spread of this candid conversation is especially striking. As if that were not enough, the story has also drawn attention to broader cultural phenomena that are trending at the same time. Conversations about artificial intelligence, for example, have resurfaced after Google DeepMind's Jeff Dean suggested that today's AI systems already outperform average humans in many areas that do not involve physical labor. The claim has reignited debates about the limits of human intelligence versus machine capability, and about what this means for education, work, and the future of society. At the same time, a lighter trend is making headlines. The rise of coffee raves, morning dance parties in cafes where young people gather to socialize, drink coffee, and dance to DJ beats. Both stories, though vastly different in tone, reflect the shifting landscape of human priorities, from fears about technology and mortality to creative new ways of finding joy in everyday life. Taken together, these stories highlight how today's world is shaped by both the serious and the playful. On one end, the world grapples with profound questions about life, death, and the future of humanity, brought into focus by two of the most powerful men alive caught in an unguarded moment. On the other, people are finding lighthearted ways to navigate life's challenges, whether by reimagining AI's role in society or by starting their mornings in a burst of energy on a dance floor with a cup of coffee in hand. It is this mix of the serious and the unexpected, the political and the cultural, that defines the global conversation today, making the story of Xi and Putin's hot mic moment not just a headline, but a symbol of the complex, unpredictable world we all share. On September 5th, 2025, UK politics was rocked by a flurry of resignations and reshuffling that sent ripples through Labour's ranks. When Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner stepped down following a finding that, though made in good faith, she had breached the ministerial code by underpaying a £40,000 stamp duty surcharge, the government felt the shock of one of its most junior, yet highest-profile figures leaving the stage. The Guardian. Prime Minister Keir Starmer, visibly affected by the news, expressed both sadness and gratitude for Rayner's service, but the damage was done. The resignation triggered a domino effect. Lucy Powell and Ian Murray also exited their government positions as the party reacted to the unfolding crisis. The Guardian. At the heart of the issue was an ethics investigation led by Sir Laurie Magnus, the government's independent ethics advisor. He concluded that Rayner hadn't sought expert tax advice before claiming she didn't need to pay the additional stamp duty reserved for second home purchases, a failure that fell short of the highest standards of propriety required by ministers. The Guardian. Though her intentions may not have been ill, the standard of judgment for someone in her position is plainly higher. The fallout spread beyond mere resignations. Scottish Labour slipped behind the SNP in the polls, underlining how deeply destabilizing the scandal proved to be. The Guardian. In parallel, at the Reform UK Party conference, Nigel Farage seized the moment to bolster his party's positioning as a credible alternative, while facing scrutiny himself over tax arrangements, channeling his media income through a private company to lower his tax bill. The Guardian. Meanwhile, footsteps of change echoed in the background of the broader housing market, where resilience remained palpable. Halifax reported that average UK house prices climbed to a record £299,331 in August, edging past what many pundits expected amid economic uncertainty. The Guardian. Still, a subtle cooling appeared in annual growth rates, from 2.5% in July to 2.2%, suggesting cautious optimism rather than exuberance. The Guardian. London continued to show modest gains, while Northern Ireland led on the regional front, with 8.1% annual increase. The Guardian. Against this backdrop, Labour now faces a formidable test. The atmosphere within the party has shifted. Internal tensions simmer as choices about who will step into Rayner's role become urgent. Starmer's leadership is being recalibrated under pressure, not just to demonstrate stability, but to reclaim a narrative of moral responsibility.